Hey, Juliers. Chris Mack coming at you with Valvoline, number 105. If you, it's actually Wolverine, but as we get into the book, you'll understand why I use that funny little pun. So this is part 19 of the Onslaught event that we've been going over for the last few months, and this was different. It starts out kind of tropey, which I'll get into in a minute, but I like what this character is. If you're not sure who this character is, we'll get into him in a moment. For the long-time readers, then it's pretty evident who that is. So anyway, we start out on Valvoline, Wolverine, and he's getting splashed down real quick. And just real quick before we really dive into this comic book came out in September of 1996. And the reason that he's getting watered down, not because he's a filthy animal, is we are stuck in the middle of Manhattan. And what Wolverine here says that I really like... Oh, we're not there yet. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. But he is helping with the... Oh, wait, no. I did not get ahead of myself. I'm just not having enough coffee. He goes, there's an evil Twisto who says he's going to punish humanity, meaning Onslaught. He says, I think I gotta leave the heavy action to the boys and girls who can lift cement trucks with their brains and shoot beams out of their eyes. I think the old knucklehead is better suited to cleaning up the collateral damage. So I like that Larry Hama here takes Wolverine and kind of puts him as a street-level hero, kind of like Daredevil or Luke Cage or Jessica Jones. And this particular issue is called Faces in the Fire. This is Larry Hama writing, Val Semeiks doing the pencils, Chad Hunt with V. Russell and H. Candelario doing the inks, Richard Starkings and Comicraft doing the lettering, and then Chris Lichtner and Joe Andreani doing the colors, Malibu doing the enhancements, and of course Bob Harris is the editor-in-chief, and Wolverine was created by Len Wein. Now, again, as I just said, I like that Hama kind of takes Logan and makes him a street-level hero. But, with that said, the one trope I am tired of is it seems like whenever we have a hero like street level, like Spidey, and this is both in the comics and the movies and other medium, is it always has to be a burning building. Why does it always have to be a burning building? I understand that they need something symbolic to kind of show the hero's selflessness. And that's, again, why Wolverine was being watered down is this little boy, the mom says, Sean, I thought he was right behind me. And this kid goes, he went back for Mr. Winky, Mom. Meaning that there's a stuffed animal. So Wolverine does a cool little superhero jump into the building. And he's looking for Sean, which, for all of us growing up, remember fire safety always saying, don't hide during a fire. Always look for the fireman. And here Wolverine's thankfully he's able to weed out the smoke and find the child. And the kid says, you're not a fireman. Mommy never told me to talk to strangers. And he goes, your mom was right, but I'm wearing a mask because I'm a superhero. And then he takes off the mask, and I'm like, that's no hero, that's good. Again, the Onslaught event was interesting. I really enjoyed what Scott Liddell did and how he was able to tie all these Marvel IPs together for this event. But I hate that Wolverine had to look like this during it, because that's just him getting his adamantium ripped out. Not ripped out, but the way that they try to put it back in issue 100 of Wolverine, which if you guys would like to see a review on that, let me know down in the comments. It was interesting. Like, up to that, I was really invested. I was like, yeah, what's going to happen? Is Wolverine going to get his adamantium back? And then we got this. And I hate to say it, but when they did this to Wolverine, when they turned him feral and they started doing this design with him, I dipped out of the X-Men and Wolverine quick. I was like, ugh. It hasn't been until years later that I've finally come back to enjoying it. Anyway, aesthetic aside, Logan is who he is. He's a hero. He takes the boy, and of course we get the flame saying, oh, the way out's blocked this way. And of course we got the suspense of, Sean, my Sean is still up there. And then we get an ad. Ooh, big whopping ad. And then what I like is, Wolverine says that heroes can't die. And the kid goes, I'm not a hero, silly. And Logan's like, we can fix that. There, you got the mask. You're the hero. And this is definitely the type of stuff that Wolverine would do, because even though he has a rough exterior, he's very much a big softy. Anyway, so this man says, grab the stick, and he takes Wolverine down through a burning building. He goes, this is the only way out. And so we got to go through upon floors of burning buildings. And so Wolverine, again, being the hero that he is, he goes, you hang on tight and don't you worry none, because I'm going to get you out of here. That's a promise. And so Logan endures these burning flights of steps to save the child. And, you know, the woman's like, I want to meet the man who saved my child. And they're like, you don't want to see this. And how could he be alive? And I like how Wolverine says, can't lift no cement trucks with my brain. Ad. Can't shoot beams out of my eyes. But what I got is a mutant healing factor. And so, though I think the way that they describe this later down the road is, you know, with what happened with Genesis in issue 100, you know, Wolverine took so much pain from his body rejecting the adamantium that his healing factor is a little burned out. So even though he's able to heal from stuff like this, like the majority of his body trying to become more man-looking, took longer. So yeah, Wolverine says he's going to run back into the building because there's an old coot in there, as he said. And this is where the book kind of gets interesting, because we see Wolverine get clocked upside the head by this gentleman who walked him through the fire. And you come to find out that the person whooping Wolverine is Stick. And Stick was the mentor of both Elektra and Daredevil. And Wolverine says, you're here, he basically says, you're here to help me put myself back together, how to become a man. And he's like, I can't help you. Well, before we get into that, what I like is Wolverine says, when he's talking about it, he goes, you're here to put the final polish on what Elektra did to me. Put me back the way I was. Make me a man again. Make me understand that without humility, there ain't no pride. Without fear, there ain't no bravery. Without ignorance, there ain't no learning. And Stick just basically says, I can't teach you all those things. So you got to put yourself back together. And Wolverine's like, I don't know how. He says it's not my fault, you know, that what happened to me with what happened with Genesis, what happened with Magneto. And he goes, wrong. When Magneto took the metal out of you, you were the one who gave up on keeping yourself together. He put the fear in you, and it eroded your soul. And it made you forget that every second of our lives we got to fight to keep from slipping back into being the animals we really want to be. He's kind of, whoo, I love that. Now, I like how Stick says, if you jump where I'm pointing, you'll live. How can I believe you? You got a choice, boy? A man's always got a choice. And I'm choosing to trust you. So you see Logan jump off the burning building to safety. And right here, he's safe. What was his name, Mommy? Valvoline? Something like that. And so with that, some little things happen there at the end. But that pretty much wraps up Valvoline number 105. So again, during this time, I really hated how Logan looked. This feral look, just no fans that I've ever talked to through the years enjoyed it. But what kept us reading, maybe not for the aesthetic, but the fact that Wolverine is a hero. He's selfless, and he has a big heart, even though he comes off with that rough, gruff exterior. And I like Stick because every time I've read him in a comic, or even when you watch the Netflix Daredevil, yeah, he may not be the most saintiest of saint people, but he does have a way of calling you on your BS and trying to set you straight. And that's kind of what he does with Matt in a sense, and that's what he does with Logan right here. He goes, I can't help you. What am I, a school teacher? You got to do this yourself. You got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. So just a really good lesson, like life lesson right there. And that's what I loved about what Hama did, is he kind of got out of the big Onslaught event that's going on, and we got a nice little street level story about, what do you call it, a human interest piece and whatnot. So overall, great story, bad Wolverine choice, but the art was solid. For what Val Semeiks did and whatnot in the art team, showing how Wolverine's running through the fire and how he's able to heal himself, etc., so forth. Good art, good story. So, if you've enjoyed this review and really like this comic book, please make sure to support your local comic shop and pick up a copy. At the time of this recording, if we're all still locked down, then call and see if they can, curbside it, deliver it, mail it. But if this is the future and you're watching this video now, then please take time out of your day to go support your local comic shop. And if you have enjoyed this review again, we definitely appreciate it if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. It helped the club channel more than you could possibly know, especially since we had to start over, which is like, but we shall persevere. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little adamantium bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys can come to the page, and we'd love to have a dialogue with y'all down in the comments below, excuse me, and just interact with y'all, because we love interacting with the community. Or you can do so on our social media pages as well, which I will make sure to leave the links down in the description below. So with all that said, I hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.